saddest, Mikola. You must abide alone a while. Welcome, honored guest, to the birthplace of our dynasty.
The acceptance of who you are is something everyone seeks. To be okay with who you are, what you are, is perhaps one of life's most challenging tasks. No more apparent is such an idea than Mohg, the Lord of Blood. Mohg was born to a cursed blood, to a family that tried to hide his existence, and to a world that had no place for him. Mohg and his twin brother Morgott would be born to Godfrey and Marika, the Elden lords. However, both were omen, disfigured beings that rarely survived to adulthood, their horns stripped from their body, resulting in a common death. However, Mohg and Morgott were of royal blood. Instead of being stripped of their horns, they were instead sealed away deep beneath Lindell to be eternally forgotten. Shackles used to keep them contained.
Have you ever felt the curse? With your whole being, the pox upon life itself, feared and despised by all. The reviled blessing. Apparently not. You are but a lamb, a stranger to defilement, ignorant of your own ignorance. You no longer interest me. I've been long without peace. Don't spoil my quietude.
It is here that the separation of mentality between Morgott and Mohg became apparent. Morgott came to renounce his accursed blood, while Mohg came to accept it. Mohg even loved his accursed blood, his great rune even soaked in blood, born from the love of the Maya he was born to. Mohg's love for his blood and for the Maya he was born into can be seen to symbolize the acceptance of self, and yet also the idea that change in some ways is good. Mohg's love for his blood bordered on devotion, and this love was brought about by his worship of the formless mother. Upon witnessing her, the outer god that craves wounds, he became infatuated with the Maya he was born into. The mother of truth is, to me, what caused Mohg to accept who he was. As a royal omen, Mohg was spared from some of the horrors that were born from such an existence. Omen were hunted down and killed by men known as the Omen Killers, their weapons fashioned from the severed horns of their victims, and their masks a mockery of the nightmares they suffered from. Nightmares that were revealed by the Omen ban item to be them begging not to be hated or cursed. So horrific and nightmarish were these Omen Killers that the ashes of Roll, the first Omen Killer, reveal that he even drank a physic to remove his emotions so he could actually perform his duties to kill these Omen. The implication here is that these killings were so vicious and terrible that the killer had to completely tear out his emotions just so he could actually go through with them, which should give you a big idea into how these Omen were treated. Many forced to live within the Lindell sewers just to survive. As time passed, Mohg escaped his confinement and grew new aspirations. Mohg grew the desire to see a new dynasty realized, and he wished his consort to be one of the twin prodigies, Mikola, a brother of Melania. Mohg desired Mikola as a consort. For Mohg, he saw the potential to raise Mikola to godhood and create a new dynasty, the Mohgwyn dynasty. However, no matter how many times Mohg invited the young Mikola to his bedchambers, Mikola gave him no response. It was not until the Shattering that Mohg sought out Mikola once more, it seems. Mohg stole Mikola from the Halig tree and brought him to the Mohgwyn palace, where Mohg gathered his servants and offered blood to the young Empyrean Mikola, his body now cocooned in a web.
I knew it from the very start. You have a taste for noble blood. I wish to anoint you a proper inductee, a knight to serve Luminary Mohg, the Lord of Blood, and establish a new dynasty. Luminary Mohg has strength, vision, and of course, love. So, what do you say, my lambkin? Yes. Who would have it any other way?
Mohg devoted himself to raising his consort to godhood, now a servant of the god of blood, the formless one, the mother of truth, an outer god. Mohg communed with the blood god through his trident, an icon of the dynasty he worked to install. The outer god desired a wound and granted Mohg incredible power. Mohg granted his followers powers of their own. Mohg granted people like Okina from the land of reeds and Eleonora from the land of reeds the power to use blood as a weapon. Their weapons cause incredible bleed buildup and are extremely fast at causing blood, symbolizing their roots and the connection to the mother of truth. It is interesting that two of Mohg's most prominent servants originate from the land of reeds. Perhaps Mohg visited the land of reeds once before. Maybe Mohg is the reason the land of reeds is said to have succumbed to a blood-soaked madness. Let me know what you think in the comments. Returning to the outer god though, the Lord of Blood's robe states that the dress of a luminary, the reigning lord and hierarch of the coming dynasty of Mohgwyn, or perhaps a raving lunatic. This suggests that Mohg's sanity may have been lost in the pursuit of a new dynasty, keeping in theme with the Lovecraftian origins of the outer gods. Maybe upon Mohg seeing the mother of truth, he lost his mind. Beset by transcendent knowledge, he became a raving lunatic and simply a puppet of the blood god. It's interesting to note that Morgott uses holy attacks, while Mohg uses these blood attacks born from an outer god that desires pain to be inflicted on others and for blood to be spilled. It kind of gives off this holy versus unholy theme between two brothers, as well as how Mohg looks far more demonic compared to Morgott's more human look. You could see Morgott and Mohg then as representing a theme of duty versus devotion. Morgott thought of the Elden Ring as a kind of duty he had to uphold, and seems to resent the other shardbearers as traitors for not being present at the Elden throne, whereas Mohg was devoted to his god and devoted to creating an entirely new dynasty founded upon the sacrifice of the last. Another interesting thing is the boss Mohg the Omen, which can be found under Lindell and guarding the entranceway to the Frenzied Flames cage. What's interesting to me about this is that in the boss fight for Mohg, Lord of Blood, we see him rise out of a pool of Miquella's blood, showing that he can dwell within such places. It's doubtful that this is something Mohg has always been able to do, so perhaps this is a power given to him by the Formless Mother, the God of Blood. From this then, I'd say that perhaps the Formless Mother separated Mohg's body from his mind or his blood and crafted him a new body of blood, which is why Mohg is able to rise out from Miquella's blood, and why his old body seems to be aimlessly waiting down beneath Lindell with the rest of the Omen. The names of these bosses could also give us clues. Mohg the Omen suggests he still has this heavy connection to his prison and the other Omen, the beings that are hunted and slain, while Mohg the Lord of Blood suggests a far more royal name and one of great power. Maybe this is why Morgott did not consider Mohg to be among the treacherous shardbearers in his introduction. It's because he is still believing Mohg to be deep beneath Lindell, still resting within his prison, and with those that share in his disfigurement. This is just my speculation on this though. If you have found the answer to this, let me know in the comments.
And with this, you are a formal inductee, a knight who will assist Luminary Mohg, the Lord of Blood, in the establishment of a new dynasty. Now, give me your finger. This noble blood will be an immutable badge of honor once it settles inside of you.
I can see it as clear as day. The coming of our dynasty. Morgwyn.
If you enjoyed this video, then consider subscribing for more lore videos on Elden Ring, and use that like button should it please you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.